My name is Natalia Aldacor. I am the Regional Director of Sales for TL Portfolio, and I have the enormous pleasure to receiving two of our clients all the way from Japan that just joined our portfolio a couple of months ago. Yoshi-san is going to share with us all things Azumi, and I'm going to give you the floor. For everybody that is joining, please make sure that you enter your questions under the chat. I will be making sure that we can read those. And of course, we welcome all kinds of questions. So Yoshi, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you very much. My name is Yoshi, the General Manager at Azumi Setoda. I would like to introduce our property. But first of all, thank you very much for your time. Okay, so let's start. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Okay, so this is Azumi Setoda presentation. So before I start, I would like to introduce the very important three people for our brand Azumi. So one in the middle is Mr. Adrian Zecca, who's the founder of Aman, and he created the beautiful resort in Phuket in 1988. In over 30 years, he created 30 properties and more. After he left Aman, he created two different brands. One is called the Azirai, which is based in Vietnam. Currently, there's three properties. But after that, because he has a dream of having a ryokan, which is traditional Japanese inn. And so there's two Japanese gentlemen on the right-hand side and left-hand side has started working with him since 2017. On the right-hand side, Fumitomo, he was involved in development in Aman Resort as well, was in charge for established Aman Tokyo, Aman Kyoto, and Amanemu. On the right-hand side, Yuta, he is more specialized in creating in that and developing town or city. So there's two Japanese men working with Mr. Zecca, and we wanted to name his initial AZ to start as a name of the brand. So we had a word of Azumi is from that. So in 2017, they found the property based in Hiroshima, has about 140 years history. And so as soon as they met this, they knew that Mr. Zecca would love these properties because it has such a old history, as well as kept really nicely. So the owner of that family, in the end, decided to give it to this property to the city, and we start developing this project. But by promising that we're going to keep the building and the structure of that house as much as possible. So this is our entrance currently, but this is the old house. And the same as inside that interior, we restore that an old wooden panel and to refine it and still hanging at the back of our front office. So here's a property. We opened this resort, opened 2021. Let me just move this one quickly, sorry. Can you see this one?
We can see the screen of the rooftops.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Azumi Setoda opened 2021 during the COVID. And currently we have about 50% of the guests is overseas, mainly from America, Europe, and Australia, and quite a good number of Taiwanese and Singapore and Hong Kong as well. Length of a stay of that overseas guest about 3 nights. And recently, we are proud to say that, and we received that Michelin hotel key as well.
Congratulations. It's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you very much. So quite excited too.
Yeah.
So here is, oh, how can I do the next one? So here again, I want to show you the map of Japan and I want to introduce where we are located. Sorry, the map itself is missing Hokkaido, but this is the map of Japan. Here's Tokyo and Kyoto, and then green highlight is Hiroshima, where our prefecture is. But inside, close to Hiroshima, there's the inner sea. It's a very calm sea. Used to be the trading route over the ancient time. So there's 6 islands on this in the sea, and we are in the third one. But these 6 islands is connected to by the Shimanami Kaido, which is the bridge. It's like that. So it's beautiful by riding and cycling on the bridge, which is quite a famous activity around this area. But location itself is quite convenient because we are only 2.5 hours away from Kyoto by using Shinkansen, which is about 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 1 hour by car, or 2 hours from Hiroshima City, which is by car. And also Naoshima Art Island is quite popular for overseas guests. Usually it's quite difficult to have book the accommodation over there. But from us, it's about 2.5 hours by private cruise, which we can arrange that for you. So here's Azumi. Accommodation-wise, we have 22 rooms, and we have mainly 2 separate categories. One called Niwa or Suzumi is 50 square meters, and the other one called Sora Suzumi or Niwa Suzumi, which is about 70 square meters. So to be honest, it's not the huge rooms we have, but every equally beautiful. And we have 1 dining and 1 public bath. It's called Yubune. So this is a room. Everything was built or used by Japanese cypress wood and pine wood. So once you enter the room, you can smell, enjoy the fragrance of the real wood. And so this is a niwa. You can see the small garden. And unfortunately, none of our room has ocean view because we are located, it's a little bit inside, away from the ocean or beach. But we have a very Japanese style of a small Zen garden. And this is a room category called Suzumi, which is located in the 2nd floor. Pretty much similar to Niwa type of rooms, but has a higher ceiling, so it's much more brighter. And this is Niwa Suzumi, which has 2 stories. This is a maisonette type. So most of the rooms is suitable for 2 guests, but this room can accommodate up to 3 people. And this is the 2nd floor of Niwa Suzumi, has a tatami floor and a small balcony. But for the 3rd person, we set up a futon mattress in here. This is about dining, and it's very cozy.
Yoshi, very quickly before you go into the dining and just going back to the rooms, the rooms are obviously for 2 people, but if you have a family, do you have connecting rooms? Do you have twin rooms? What's the bedding situation? Because obviously with 22 rooms that the property has, there is not that many options.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we do not have the connecting room or bigger room. So what we do is we just have a wonderful family of overseas guests, and so they book that 2 rooms is next to each other. So as long as we know there's a family traveling, we definitely locate them together, especially if they have a small children. So in that sense, we have at the moment 5 family members. So 3 children is staying in this type of room, and then parents are staying in this type of room.
And it's separated completely?
Completely separated.
Fantastic. Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
And then from the profile of the guest, who would you say is the typical guest when you're looking at the American, Canadian you know, guess who will you say is the typical? Is it couples? Is it younger couples? Is it families?
It's quite we received a lot of young couple and then or honeymooner, because typically in Japan, and unfortunately we are a little bit away from the Tokyo and in Kyoto. So the first timer for the Japan travelers, they tend to spend like for example 1 week, then they only go to Kyoto and Tokyo and then go back. But anyone who've been to Japan or experienced travelers, they are now or spend more time in Japan or roaming around the remote area. Then we have a lot of honeymooners who are going to spend like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in Japan, or families, and they also love to spend time in not only the city but as well as the countryside. But recently we have a guest who love to do hiking, or very active type of guest, who combined with the hiking, which is not necessary in here, but in Kyushu or Shikoku, but between they wanted to relax. And of course, the popular activity in this area is the cycling. So we do have the guests to enjoy that as well.
Fantastic.
Okay. So here's the dining. Also, although we said ryokan project, which is Japanese travel, the traditional inn, we don't serve the food inside the room. So we do have the separated beautiful restaurant, which is on the photo, and we serve that very nice food here. The dining has 24 seats and the 2 private rooms up to six guests. And the current chef, Japanese chef called Akita, but he actually served French cuisine. And in breakfast we serve Japanese, and of course, Western breakfast is arranged by the request basis. And here is our dish for the dinner. And the chef Akita worked in France for 13 years in a couple of Michelin stars restaurant as a sous chef. So everything is a French technique, but using only the local product. And especially he limited himself within the 50 kilometers. He recently started farming in this island, so lots of fresh herbs and vegetables from his own garden. But also the Hiroshima itself has the rich in all the ingredients in the fish and seafood and beef and rice, and then pretty much everything we produce in this region. Also, in the middle and the right-hand side is a beautiful plate, the Chinaware. We inherited from this family as well. So for the breakfast and dinner, we use that in plate also. And the separate building, we have a Yubune, which is in fact is a different brand we called, and we also managing that. It's a little bit more casual style of accommodation, has 14 rooms, which we don't show the photo here, but this facility has the public bath. So unfortunately, we do not have a spa as yet. But we have one room for the treatment. We can invite the outside therapist to do the massage for the guest request. But this bath house is open for, of course, in-house guests as well as the outsider for limited time. And the guests enjoy after cycling and soaking baths, the hot tub, and as well as the sauna. And the beautiful mosaic of that sceneries around this area.
Spectacular.
Thank you.
Yeah, spectacular.
So this is the map of that town. So this is a port. I'm going to show you the video in a minute. We are located here. This is only about 700 meters. It's very short high street. It used to be had a lot of shops, but now is of course is a little bit more or less. But it still has a few nice restaurants and souvenir shop and cafe. This is old photo of this high street. You can see, and the high season they have about 20,000 people visited this island, but unfortunately it's much more quieter. So I can show you how it's look like right now. Okay. So I took personally this video, so it's not the good quality,
No,
This
I
is a
love this video because when Joshi sent it to me, it gave me such a clear idea of, exactly what your intentions are, which is, how it feels once you come from the ocean right into the hotel, and kind of like the vibration of the city, if you wanted, and what to expect. And it
uh,
feels so local and so immersive in so many ways. I think the idea for so many of us that have not had the pleasure of like visiting Japan yet, there is this thought of like busy and like noisy, and then, which I'm sure there is, and then you see this that is exactly the other side of the coin. So it's quite beautiful to see, and it feels so local, right? It feels so local.
yeah, it is actually. And this is one of the day, but it's not really super off season. So you will see how much space you can get, but still lively inside the cafe, which is very close to us. So this is the high street, and although it is not that many, and so this is a newly opened cafe as well as that lunchbox store, and they're selling a little bit of this items. And also just past the wooden corner at the shop, recently we opened the Japanese restaurant there too. So the guest has a choice. It's not only the French course cuisine, but also the very nice Japanese set and dinner as well. So here's our manager, see of the guest.
I love it. What are the hours of these shops, Yoshi? Like, what is the expectations? My guess is that there is no lifetime or nightlife or anything like that. But like when thinking on with the customer that you were talking about, which is a younger customer, it's a more of a relaxing time when you get there.
Oh, definitely.
And like how late is dinner, for example? Like how late are the shops open? Is Sunday a day that one goes out to shop, or is that Sunday is just to relax and perhaps do some cruising? What would that look like?
To be honest, the restaurant opening hour is not really flexible. But what I realized that most of the guests who traveling to Setoda is after Kyoto or Nagoshima are just a little bit crazy city activities. So once they do, it just really relax. And then even most of the guests enjoy dinner about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. But of course, our dining opened until 8. That was the last seating time. But also a few pubs is open a little bit later. So if you're going to go to the bars and things like that's also available. But the shop is open from early in the morning. It's definitely 9 or some of the shop open from 8, but close to 4.
Great.
Okay, this is a few rooms. And so this is a 50 square meters rooms, but has bigger area for the suitcase and the luggage area. So if a guest who stay traveling 2 people, I recommend the guest to take that Niwa or Suzumi type of rooms. So has more space. The maisonette type is a total square meter is bigger, but that was 2 stories and so a little bit squeezy. So this is a hinoki bath, and then the vanity area. So you will see it's pretty much everything in this room is made from the wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Truly beautiful.
Okay. So I'm just going to show the experience.
Yes.
You see this or not? Or would I have to change
We
that?
can, yes.
You didn't see our website? No.
We see the website, so I don't know if you have clicked yet, because that's, yeah.
Okay, so the reason I want to show this our website is because
the website has not clicked yet, Yoshi. So I just see the address. So if you want to click it, yeah.
I'm on. Just can I quickly stop and then move?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course
I'm
you
gonna
can.
do
Absolutely.
maybe this one.
And while Joshi does that, if anybody has questions, please make sure to include those in the chat. We will have a few minutes to go over it if there is anything there, but feel free to add them.
Okay, can you see this?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. That's okay. So the since I mentioned earlier that average length of stay of this area, I said 3 nights. Probably wondering what you're gonna do. But be creative. There's a lot of different type of like experience, and so I was kind of thought to give the sample itinerary, but because of the guest has different type of interest and a different range of the family structures, and so I'm going to go through what we actually offer. So it's adventure category. We have guided tour by the short version for long version, or lemon harvest time, which is the winter. It's a beautiful valley around this area.
It
So the
probably
guests,
smells amazing too.
yes, it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's in the end of May, the island is covered by smell of that, the
Oh my
lemon.
God, that's just
So
dreamland.
beautiful.
So
So
beautiful.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
we have that, a lot of cycling activities, and to shorter version to up to 50 kilometers, and also fishing experience. And after you caught the fish, our Japanese chef going to serve in the next morning for your breakfast. And or luxury cruise also available. It's up to 4 hours to 8 hours. Has a jacuzzi inside. It's this cruise itself is made from Italy, so it's really good quality. You can enjoy the Setoda Island scenery, scenic ride, and also there is a catamaran yacht. From the people from New Zealand moved into this island for a long time. Not this island, but this region. So it's a beautiful kayak sailing as well. And then also kayaking, SAP, and sunset cruise. And also culture-wise, the Lifetime made denim, which is a new activity. We work with the local factory, which is quite famous for the denim industry. Not many people knows, but one of the city too close to us called Fukuyama has one of the world best denim factory, and also the
Wow.
producing is one of the one in Japan. So the skill of the factory is a top class. The sewing is people make the haute couture samples to the materials provided to the Levi's and things like that. So those of the B2B business is that we have created a special activity for the guest. This is a lot of like little bit complicated if you book, but this have a lot of options, and also the picnic lunch. And then also there is a small art island, not the Naoshima, but the same artist actually has separate the building in that and small island, only 300 people lives. So we can rent the museum as a privately and going to be private tour. So hustle like Naoshima, but you can enjoy that and the beautiful scenery as well as art. And during the lemon time, you can do the harvest experience and also the temple visit. Neighbors can do the overview coffee workshop and also temple visit.
There is
And
a lot to
for,
do, actually. I think this
yeah,
is
it
the
is.
most the one of the things that are there's several things that are impressive, but this is one thing that is very impressive about the destination, because as small and unique as it is, there is a lot to offer for anybody with like high activity levels, such as someone like me and someone that perhaps wants to do something more low key as well. So it's quite fantastic. What's the wasabi making experience? I already want to do that.
Wagashi, which is Japanese sweet for the tea
Yes. Oh my
ceremony.
God, that looks
So there,
amazing.
so there the guy is a professional, came to our property. They can do the small session. And then also wellness part, we have private yoga lessons arranged for the guest. Or this is a new one I really recommending. This island only has 5 residents. But one of the Japanese architects and created beautiful sauna space as well, right in front of the beach.
Wow.
So technically you buy out the island. And so again, the current staying guest who enjoyed yesterday, and they really, really, really enjoy
Oh,
that
how wonderful.
activities,
Wonderful.
and then as the meditations. And yeah, this is how we have. the activities. And in
A quick question that Kristen has is time of the year. What's the best time of the year to visit?
In Japan, it's Easter holiday, which is in the March and April, and the sakura season we called, and autumn is quite popular. For the cyclists, that's a popular time. But to be honest, that time is Japan is really crowded too. So of course, the guests will not only stay in Setoda, they have to travel to Kyoto and Tokyo and other places.
Right.
So the price of the hotel is going to be really expensive. So I would say the after May and in May, June is still good. A lot of people think that June is the rainy season for Japan, which is yes, but recent climate change, we didn't get much of rain in June, and it's much more shorter now. And also December, November, December is a really nice time as well.
That's great. So there is quite a bit of options there for anybody that wants to do like high season, as Yoshi was saying, but also I think it's a key opportunity to look on shoulder season, which is what you were saying. Sadly, you know, as the weather patterns change in some ways, but we could take advantage of that and perhaps, you know, showcase that to clients that are interested in going to Japan and kind of want to stay a little bit away from the crowds, and also from a budget perspective, there is that. Yoshi, for in general, the U.S. advisor utilizes a DMC when booking Japan, all things Japan. So can you speak to us a little bit about, you know, how do you feel about that? Is that, you know, is there anybody in particular that you normally work? You work with the majority of them?
Yes, we actually have the quite good connection with most of the DMCs, and then definitely during our meeting with the portfolio that and all the DMC that you know that we are working. So although today's an audience and travel agent wouldn't have a problem with that. But the problem itself is that the Japanese DMC itself is really, really busy. So probably you have the difficulty connecting with them, or communication with them, or they tend to sell that place that they're before the COVID. The problem for us is we opened this property after during the COVID. So although we start doing the educating with them, or do the familiarization tours and things like that, but still not everyone is well aware of this region, including our property. But as I showed you, the activities that we showed on the screen, we can arrange everything by ourselves. And also the higher car from Shinkansen stop, which is called the Fukuyama Station, which is only 1 hour away from the Kyoto. So as long as your guest is traveling to Kyoto or Fukuoka city, we can arrange that transportation, not a problem at all. Unfortunately, we cannot provide that the Shinkansen train ticket, but higher cars and everything is not the problem at all. So that's probably the open, creating the option.
Perfect. And in terms of rates, because you kind of dabbed a little bit, with rates in general, Japan, it's considered a destination that is, fairly expensive when it comes down to Asia. So can you speak to us a little bit about like what's the average room rate, and of course, in low season versus perhaps shoulder season that you were mentioning earlier?
Yes, and actually we are not that really super high pricey properties.
That's why I mentioned it.
Thank you. So it's starting about the $600 per night. But of course in the shoulder season we have the little off rate. But the high season itself for included 2 meals. Breakfast is always included for the price. But for the dinner, we're going to give the choice for your guests, and especially if you stay 3 nights, guests might want to skip the dinner or have a casual dining, or, explore the town. But even include the 2 meals, it's about $800 to $900 because of Japanese yen is really weak.
Oh, right. It's very right. Yes, that's true. That's very true. That's fantastic, because I do think that for advisors that perhaps have the client that is eager to make it to Japan, but they are looking into perhaps, I don't want to say budget, because this would not be a budget trip, but maybe more conscious of their budget, including a destination such as this. will actually be able to, they will be able to accommodate that much nicer. And of course, the idea of doing a combination of some of the big cities with something that is more local, I think is the perfect combination of the two. As a friendly reminder, can you just tell us if you are in property? So will you be one of the ones that will be welcoming the guests for the advisors? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I technically live like close to the properties, but always in Setoda. So yes.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Is there anything else that you want to share with us? And anybody that had any questions, if you have any questions, please, this is the time to do so. Yoshi, anything else that we are missing?
The last part I can show you this. Can you see the screen? Okay.
We can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay, that's the lastly. Oh, here you go. Not everyone every day, but we do have that food culinary experience as well. So this is the few example. But although I introduced the main dining is a French, but we do invite the outside sushi chef, and we kind of created the counter at the dining. And so he served the beautiful and the best sushi in this region. So we have the special night, or on the right-hand side, that is September, we have only 2 nights event, but collaborating and 2 Michelin stars chef in Tokyo to do a dinner. So since we are very small property, we can work easily to other chefs to or collaborations and things like that. And so again, it's not happening every month or every day, but if your guest is happen to be there, we definitely will have the one of the top experience. We also received a lot of comment. Our chef dinner itself is really, really nice. And then most of the guests who travel into Japan or stay with us, been to Michelin stars restaurant in Kyoto and Tokyo, but quite often I heard it is one of the best meal they're staying, and so I'm quite confident that as well.
I love
Yes,
it. Sounds
that's
super,
it.
super special. Okay, so I don't think we have any other questions. As I said in the beginning, this has been, oh, we have a question. They had clients stay with you last month and they said that the stay was amazing. Service, food, atmosphere
Oh,
was exceptional. Thank you,
thank you.
Tisha, for sharing this because this is equally important. And I always stress the same thing, you know, for anybody, and I know this applies for both ends of the, for both sides of the coin or different sides of the coin, is the people take the time to share when something didn't go right, but it's equally important for us to hear when something did go right. So I appreciate the time of like typing that down. So that's really, really good. You will receive an email with Josh's information. Of course, you'll have my information as well. So we're happy to link the two. The team is extremely responsive. So going back to what Yoshi was saying earlier in terms of seasonality and specifically from a destination perspective, Japan is extremely busy. So a lot of advisors are seeing some delays in terms of the responses. So I'd love to extend the hand of a hand here to kind of figure out how we can assist anything that has to do with Azumi Setoda. And Yoshi and her team will be there to welcome your guests whenever you're ready to send them over. For now, I just thank you very much. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Arigato.
ありがとうございます。